Hi, and welcome to Bath's Teams Conversations. This will involve me and a couple of ambassadors discussing various topics around university, such as what is university, looking at applying and choosing a university, as well as talking about what life is like at the University of Bath. This video's topic is student services. We hope you find this video of use. Today we'll be talking about the student support and services available at the university. So the SU Advice and Support Centre. We also have the Ropers Student Service Centre as well, and other things that are going on, things like Nightline. So lots of different services out there in order to support us while we're at university. I'm Callie Rice. I'm the student recruitment assistant here at Bath, but I myself was a student here for 4 years.
I'm Georgie and I study modern languages with European Studies, Spanish with Italian. And I'm in my third year on my placement year abroad year.
I'm Mackyla. I'm also a third year student currently on my placement year, and I study social sciences.
Hi, I'm Vicky. I'm a third year chemical engineering student.
Does anybody have any sort of experiences with the Roper Student Services Centre?
The year before I came to university, I was diagnosed with a long-term health illness, so I didn't really know what was available to me. But when I got to university, obviously I went to the student services, and then I booked an appointment with the disability advisor, or one of the disability advisors. And it was really confidential. They sat me in a room and we just had a chat about my needs. So obviously what symptoms I had, how that would affect me when doing my studies. And they basically make a disability plan for you. So I got help. Well, all of my lectures had to be recorded. So obviously after the meeting, they suggested that I applied for DSA, which is the Disability Student Allowance from the government, which I then had to have another meeting about and got that. So I got like a laptop, a microphone to record lectures. They also give me rest breaks in exams, which was really nice. And obviously if I needed any further support, then I could just go back to them and just have a nice chat. So I felt like the university really did support me, because I know that like some disabilities, they might have had them for a long time, but mine was quite new, so I didn't really know what was what I needed and what I could get. So yeah.
I've been to a couple of the drop-ins at the Roper centres, so I think in second year especially, it was a really stressful time with like flatmates and deadlines. It was really just hectic, and I just couldn't like think straight, and I had like trouble like sleeping and everything. So I went and just went to the drop-in. It was really great. Like it's a couple hours each day during the week, like for I think all of term. So I just went in there and I spoke to some advisors, and they just sit you in this like pod and you just like talk through everything, and it's just quite nice just to like just let it all out, especially when there's so many things like going on. You just want to just tell someone, and like they didn't like, I don't think their job is to give advice, but they just like listened, and they just like, I guess, tried to help you think about what you could do rather than tell you what you should do. So that was like really, really good to like hear from them.
I agree. I think definitely my experience with them have been really positive. I think it's in second year as well that I was going through some things like at home, and it was really nice to be able to go and speak to somebody, that's not a friend, it's not family, and someone who doesn't know about the situation, but you can just talk about some stuff that's, in your mind and in your head all the time. And I think that they gave me not like loads of advice and telling me exactly what I should do, but they also informed me of other services that might be able to support me, like other groups that people going through maybe similar things to what I was going through, where I could come together with other people and talk about my experience, not only at the uni but kind of in the broader Bath community as well. So stuff that was in in town, nearer to where I was living. In the centre there's posters up about Nightline, which is one of the student run groups, which is available all night, so 8 till 8 every day, and it's a confidential listening service. So I think my experience with that has also been really positive. So just to have a friendly voice on the end of the phone, to listen to you, and not judging, or not going to tell you what to do. Just it's nice to have that kind of, if you did have a, even on a night out and you feeling alone, you could just pick up the phone and call somebody to not feel vulnerable or in a position where something could happen. Or
Yeah.
I think it's really positive and nice that that's there, and it's not even just calls, so you can send them messages by Facebook, or send them an email if that's something you'd be more comfortable with.
People in the drop-in session mentioned that there's a well-being service as well, and I did this mindfulness course. So it was once a week, and they just did mindfulness, and I've been trying it for so long, and I use the app Headspace and everything. It's really stressful, so I was okay, I'm gonna commit to this 6-week course. It was just one afternoon each week, and that was really helpful. So they offer a lot of other different courses that help with stress management and mindfulness as well, that I found really useful.
Yeah, I again, I've used a service that they suggested to me, Silver Cloud, which was online, and it was a stress course, which I found really useful as well. And it's also, it's just nice to do something online, and that I could do it remotely whilst I was in Italy. And I wanted to add as well that it's important to people who are thinking maybe, oh, if I'm on placement, will I be able to access the support? And you are, you can access it whenever and wherever. I've had calls from a counsellor in Bath whilst I was abroad, which is just really nice that it's, you can a continued support, and that it's not gonna, suddenly, oh well, you're on your year abroad or you're on your placement, you're alone now. Yeah. So I think that was really nice, and that they just are there to support you whenever and whatever you're doing, and if you need to access that support, it's there.
Yeah, I always get emails from the disability service as well. So obviously I'm on placement now, and I'll get tailored emails. So obviously with the situation that's going on now, they give me advice on what I can do. So yeah, they are always there for you, which is really nice.
We also have the Student Advice and Representation Centre in the Students' Union. So does anybody have any experience with talking to them at all?
I have spoken to them a little bit. I had some problems with my second year house, and so I kind of went to them in terms of how to go about speaking to the landlord and writing a letter, because there was a lot of issues with the house, and I think that I was just worried that that I'd have all the documentation and everything just in case things went wrong, or that. And I think it was really helpful just to speak to somebody and kind of legal advice as to what to do if there is an issue, and how to go about it. I think that was really, really helpful to know that they were there. And it's the first time, obviously, because you living in halls in first year, it all seems quite it's a little bit easier than housing in second year. And there's a lot of structural issues and things with my house, and I was really worried, what if something happens and will we have to move out and things like that. So it was really helpful to go and see what they would say, just so that I was prepared, just for if the worst came. That also just to have the support of the university, in terms of kind of maybe if they could speak to the landlord, if they could get involved, would be really, really useful.
Yeah, I suppose the SU one is more information, more legal stuff. So I also went to them about housing, but that was just about our housing contracts, because as with most students, we'd never signed a contract like that before. We didn't know if it looked fine, if there were any funny bits in there or anything. So it was just kind of reassuring to just take it in there and have someone who knows more about it look over it, almost like a parent in a way, just someone who can say, yes, this looks fine, no issues there. I've also been in there a couple of times to talk to them about IMCs. So IMCs are individual mitigating circumstances, and if you have maybe an issue with maybe some coursework, or something's happened to you just before an exam or something, you can go and fill out this form to apply to the university to say, look, this has affected me, and I haven't performed as well as I should have been on that assessment because of this particular reason, and they're quite unusual to fill out, and it's quite difficult to know what exactly to write down and what evidence to provide for your claim. So I've been in there a couple of times just to sort of talk through what I've written, make sure it makes sense, make sure it looks all right, because it's quite difficult when you've been through it yourself. You don't really know how to explain it to someone else, perhaps.
Yeah, I think definitely them looking over a contract is really helpful, and I think that's why I went to them, because we wanted to get out of the contract and kind of to do that in a way that wouldn't mean that we were liable to, you know, fees or like not apply, you know, because we'd already signed it. So that we didn't want to, you know, do anything that was against the contract, and that would mean, you know, I don't know, fees, or that there, you know, any more problems with the landlord. So I think definitely when you have someone else like go through with a fine tooth comb kind of the everything that's written on the contract, is really, really helpful. And like not to feel as well that, you know, am I just being over exaggerating with this, or like, you know, it's really nice to have someone to be like, no, it's okay, like we're here for you and we'll do anything we can to, you know, help with the situation.
I think it's overall like supportive, it is supportive, whether it's through the student services or like even speaking to like your tutor within your department. I think it's quite nice like to speak to them as well. So I'd say that there's support outside of just the student services. Like there is obviously with your friends and your tutor as well. You can just, like my tutor, we just catch up sometimes because she's just asking me if I'm okay, especially like when you're abroad and things. She just like checks what's going on, especially with everything that's going on at the moment, making sure we get IMCs and the I guess assessment, everything, criteria, like just like academic stuff, as well as like pastoral, like how is everything going with like hunting for a placement and that kind of thing as well.
I think also that they are willing to speak to you, like no matter what the issue is, kind of, you know, if it happens to be, you know, issues around settling in, things like that. And I think that, yeah, they also run events, I think, that's like finding housemates.
Oh,
so
yeah.
I think that's a really positive thing in terms of kind of, it can be quite a stressful time looking for a house. It's nice that they offer that support. So if you're looking for a couple of people to join your two, it's nice that you can go to an event where you could see if you can, you know, mingle with other people who are also looking for a house and kind of join up with them and be like, yeah, we'll get a house together. I think that's really nice, that because definitely it was definitely a very stressful time at the end of like in first year, kind of the rush to get housing. And it's really nice that they offer that.
Yeah. This is not really involved with the student services, but I think just the support from the university in general. So obviously when you are on placement, I don't know whether you have the same on a study year abroad, but on a placement year you have someone from the department come and visit you to see how you are, and they speak to your like manager, they speak to you, and then they speak to you and your manager together just to check like that you are okay. Because obviously you are still a part of the university, so they still have responsibility for you. So I think that's really nice that they do check.
Did they come to your kind of?
Yeah, so I had a lecturer come to my workplace. Well, I work at the university anyway, but I'm pretty sure that most people get a visit whilst they're on placement. I'm not too sure.
I got
about
one as well.
Yeah, so that's really nice. And then as well, like when you are a part of a society or a sport, I think nowadays, well, I don't know, I think it's quite a new role. They have welfare and inclusivity officers. So you can, that's another person that you can speak to about issues that you're having. So yeah, there is a lot available. Yeah, it can come in all different types.
Yeah, all different areas.
Yeah.
I would definitely agree. I think the university has made like a lot of effort in the past year just to like increase a lot of the well-being and like inclusivity as well. Because I think Eve, the student president, she started the like women's conference last year, was it? I think it was supposed to take place this year. If not, it did. I wasn't sure because I wasn't here, but it looks really great that they're doing a lot of things. And I'm like a welfare officer on one of like the student societies as well for my department, and we try and do a lot of inclusivity for like, for example, for like women in engineering is quite like low, the percentage, so we try and include like make more inclusive events and try and balance it out as much as possible.
So that was the end of our discussion about the student services at Bath. We talked a bit about the Roper Student Services Centre, talked a bit about the SU Services Centre as well, and a few different areas where you can get student support, not only academically but extracurricularly as well. So there's lots of different places where you can get support if you're struggling in a various different ways at university. But otherwise, thank you for listening, and we'll see you again.